we dissect the current discord in court.
Good evening from the KTN News Center, and many thanks for joining us on your most qualified news broadcast in town. Today is Thursday, the 6th day of October 2016. I am Ben Kitili in Nairobi. Our sign language interpreter is William Silla. KTN Prime begins now. And 6 people were killed following an attack by suspected Al-Shabaab militants on a residential plot in Mandera. The 2:45 a.m. incident is said to have targeted non-locals residing in Bulla Public Works area. 27 of the residents were rescued unhurt. Rita Tinina now reports.
Militants are said to have used a grenade to break the entrance to the residential plot in Bulla in an attack that targeted 33 non-locals residing there. The attackers shot dead 6 people. 27 were rescued unhurt.
We have positively identified the 4 of the deceased persons. 2 of them are yet to be identified. But in due course, I'm sure we shall know their identities. Life in Mandera has come back to normal.
It took several hours to receive the bodies of those who died after an explosive went off as police attempted to get into the compound. The number of the attackers, whom security agencies say fled towards the Kenya-Somalia border, remains unclear.
We are looking at various leads, which now I cannot be able to divulge to the press because we don't want to compromise the investigations.
The attack is the first in Mandera in close to 2 years. In October 2014, 28 people headed to Nairobi were shot dead after being ejected from a bus at Omar Jilo in Mandera. On the 2nd of December 2014, 36 quarry workers were shot dead in an attack on a quarry in Koromei area of Mandera by suspected Al-Shabaab militants. Rita Tinina, KTN News.
Riots erupted in Kisii town after police shot and killed 2 women at the Daraja Mbili open-air market. The women are reported to have been hawking goods along the Kisii-Migori road. One of the women died on the spot in the 6 p.m. incident, while the other one died on arrival at the Kisii Teaching and Referral Hospital. Witnesses say the police officers in an administration police vehicle encountered a border accident and tried to act as a buffer in the dispute that had ensued between the riders. The dispute led to a huge crowd and vehicle snarl-up that took time to control, and police are said to have tried to use force to disperse the growing crowds.
Tumeshangaa sana jioni ya leo tunapoona maaskari wanapokuja ni kutoa jam, baadaye ni kuanza kufyatua marisasi. Baadaye siku ya soko haifai kuja na marisasi kuja kufyatua. Wameua mama ambaye ako innocent, ambaye ako na biashara yake, anauza cabbage hapa hivi, ameuliwa bila sababu. So tunashangaa sana hii serikali yetu imeruhusu aje maaskari wanakuja kuua watu kiorera.
The Big Q in association with Fidelity Insurance.
Our big question discussion takes us to the county of Kisii. Kisii has been making headlines for all the wrong reasons in the past few days, but we are seeking to find out what you think about that story we've just run for you. We are asking you our big question, is the government doing enough to curb extrajudicial killings? Do text us what you feel, your response plus a brief comment. Of course, yes or no response plus a brief comment. Our studio line, as always, 22155. Tweet us at Ben_Kitili, at KTN News, and at KTN Kenya. The hashtag is KTN Prime, and we shall be sampling your views. In other news, President Uhuru Kenyatta has finally declared vacant the positions of IEBC chairman and 8 other commissioners. The president has also demanded that the Parliamentary Service Commission submit to him the 9 nominees who will constitute the IEBC selection panel to recruit the new commissioners.
In a statement to the media, the president says he has declared vacancies in the Independent Election Boundaries Commission for the positions of chairman and the 8 commissioners pursuant to Section 7A of the IEBC Act through a special Kenya Gazette notice issued today. The statement further says the outgoing commissioners will now serve their notice period while in office, expiry of which shall coincide with the incoming commissioners taking the oath of office, and thus there shall be no lacuna or constitutional crisis engendered by there being no substantive IEBC commissioners in office during the transitional period. This implies the Isaac Hassan-led team will continue taking charge of all commission's activities, including forthcoming by-elections in various county wards. State House has also directed that the Parliamentary Service Commission PSC conveys to the President the names of 9 nominees to the selection panel for consideration and appointment. The 9 nominees include Judge Retired Justice Tom Baluto and Ogla Karani, representing the Opposition Alliance Code, High Court Advocates Evans Monari and Mary Keegan from the ruling Jubilee Wing. Religious leaders nominated to the IEBC selection panel are Professor Abdul Gafur El-Bsaidi of SUPKEM, Canon Reverend Peter Karanja for NCCK. The Catholic have nominated Bernadette Musundi with the Evangelical Alliance of Kenya, settling on Bishop Dr. David Oginde, while the Hindu Council of Kenya will be represented by Ravinda Barmar. Duncan Hemba, KTN News.
A family in Elgeyo Marakwet now wants the government to take action against a Kenya Forest Service ranger who allegedly shot dead their kin in KTN Forest in Elgeyo Marakwet County. But KFS Commandant Alex Lemarkoko claims that the deceased was felling logs from the forest without a Elgeyo Marakwet.
Sami Kimutai was allegedly shot dead in KTN Forest in Elgeyo Marakwet County by an officer attached to Kenya Forest Service. Kimutai's family says he sustained fatal stomach injuries and died on the spot, while his brother escaped with gunshot wounds on the leg. The deceased family, who described the slain man as a hard-working businessman, is now crying foul, accusing the rangers of killing their kin who was going about his duties.
Na sasa vile sisi tukiwa jamii tumepoteza kijana ambaye alikuwa tegemeo katika familia yetu kwa jumla, na kijana ambaye alikuwa akifanya kazi yake ya biashara.
Ni kama askari huyu anatoka station ambayo inaitwa Yogot, but hapa pia tuko na station na Kameza na KTN, but hawa hatukusikia mambo yote. Tunasikia kwamba walikuja na hiyo gari ndio wakakuja piga risasi.
In retaliation, the locals set ablaze a forest station, destroying property estimated at 5 million shillings. They also attempted to destroy another station, but were repulsed.
Kali chukua hatua na hii mambo ya kupiga risasi pia mtu. Nadhani sheria inasema ya kwamba mtu akifanya tendo ama hajafanya ama kwa sababu hatuna thibitisho, anafaa kushikwa apelekwe, kama ni kotini achukulie hatua. Lakini kutoa uhai wa mtu kwanza at that age ni mbaya sana.
However, KFS Commandant Alex Lemarkoko, who flew from Nairobi to the scene of crime, claims the incident was unfortunate because the deceased tried to snatch the firearm from one of the officers, prompting the shootout.
That confrontation, one person was shot dead and one was injured, the one who was trying to snatch the rifle. And it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate that we have to lose lives simply because of people who don't want to follow the law. We as Kenya Forest Service are determined to continue protecting our forests.
Lemarkoko says the duo, together with other local residents, were allegedly felling logs from the forest without a permit. But when stopped by the rangers, they started pelting the officers with stones.
The other issue I would like to perhaps inform the public is that forest rangers are armed. You don't confront an armed person and expect that armed person not to protect that rifle and the life, his or her own life, and the life of the rest of the officers.
Kwa sasa tulikuwa naye juzi Jana ndio tukutana, lakini tulikuwa naye juzi, nikamjulia hali yake, naye akanijulia hali yangu. Alikuwa mzuri kimwili, kiafya alikuwa sawa, hakuwa na tatizo lolote, na hakunywi pombe hata. Ni mtu mungwana, ni mtu anaweza kuwa role model wa wengine pia.
The body of the slain man was taken by police to Iten Farrell Hospital mortuary as investigation into the matter commences. Elvis Kosgei, KTN News, Kapteren Village, Elgeyo Marakwet County.
In other news, in a rather unfortunate incident, a Form 4 student has gone blind after consuming what is believed to have been methanol at their school laboratory during a chemistry lesson. The boy is a candidate awaiting his KCP exams in a few weeks' time at the Kenyatta Mahiga Secondary School in Othaya, and drank the substance and later complained of poor eyesight. Karen Derry has more.
Curiosity killed the cat, or so the old adage goes. It rings true in regard to the plight of a KCSE candidate at Kenyatta Mahiga High School, Nyeri County, who lost his sense of sight after consuming methanol during a chemistry lesson. The student didn't let anyone know that he had taken some laboratory chemical until when he realized his sight had suddenly failed him. The Form 4 student who was preparing for the KCSE exam is now confined to a hospital bed as the doctors at the Othaya General Hospital try to assist him regain sight. His mother, Martha Wairimo, narrates how a phone call from the school shook her to the core.
Akaniambia mtoto saa hizi haoni. Mtoto saa hizi haoni na hata hawezi sema kitu. Kumuona tu ni hapo nikaanguka. Hata kuongea na yeye, kuona mtoto tu nikaaguka. Sijui mimi nilijielewa kama saa 5 hivi.
When she regained consciousness, she tried finding out from her son why he had consumed the chemical.
Nikamuuliza, wewe Dennis, kwa nini ulikuwa unaoja hii kitu? Hata mimi naona watu wakioja, lakini sijaoja hapa bereni, sikuwa nafikiria itakuwa hivi. Ndivyo aliniambia. Anasema hata wengine walikunywa, ati kuna wengine walikunywa. Ndivyo anasema.
She expresses disappointment on the manner in which the school handled the matter.
Hata mwalimu kuniona tu kwa gate, aliniapproach vibaya kwa sababu aliniambia, Mama Dennis, mahianyu haoni, hata nafanya hivi haoni mahianyu. Hata daktari wanagoja nini? Ambulance apelekwa PGH, Nyeri PGH. Nikamuuliza kwani ako hali gani? Amelala huko, anamweka drip. Hebu kujeni mumuone.
She also blames the school for what she terms as a delay in seeking treatment for her son, a claim the head teacher, Onesmus Mwangi, vehemently denies.
Wanafunzi walimpeleka kwa dom kutoka saa 6 mpaka saa 11 ikibaki kidogo tu.
But one of the boy who took him to the dormitory is a captain. And again, they never wanted the office to know what the boy has done. So there is nothing much we would not have known.
Back at the hospital, doctors are optimistic all will be well, going by the symptoms presented.
Right now, as I said, we're optimistic because his eyesight has already begun to recover, but we have to wait for some time to know if he will fully recover sight in both eyes.
His family, friends and fellow candidates hope that he will make it to the exam room later this month. Carol Derry, KTN News, Othaya, Nyeri County.
Very sad story, hoping the candidate recovers his eyesight. Now, a senior intellectual property law lecturer at Strathmore University in Nairobi and a candidate for Deputy Chief Justice position has been told he is not qualified for the position. The Judicial Service Commission panel interviewing candidates for the post told Isaac Rutenberg that he lacks extensive knowledge of Kenyan law. Michelle Ngele reports from the Supreme Court.
U.S.-born lawyer Dr. Isaac Rutenberg, who is the director of the Center for Intellectual Property in Information Technology at the Strathmore University Law School, became the only man to be interviewed for the position of Deputy Chief Justice. An established intellectual, Dr. Rutenberg boasts a PhD in chemistry from the California Institute of Technology and a law degree from the Santa Clara University School of Law, which saw him registered to practice law in California. But are his qualifications enough to have him sit as the Vice President of the Supreme Court of Kenya?
Have you been a legal practitioner for 15 years? I have been a legal practitioner for 11 years.
11 years. Have you been a distinguished academic of 15 years standing?
I have been a distinguished academic for 4 years.
4 years, thank you.
By itself, no.
In the 4 years, Dr. Rutenberg, have you been a legal academic?
The 4 years of academic that I'm referring to is in the area of chemistry.
Yes, so you have been dealing with polymers.
And as
so
well.
Are you asking this commission to consider that your engagement in organic chemistry is relevant to the field of legal practice?
I am doing that, yes.
Have you taken the Kenya bar?
I have not.
Have you taken any course at a Kenyan institution on Kenyan law?
I have not, although I teach them, I have not taken them.
We are submitting to you that you do not qualify for this very heavy responsibility job that you are applying for.
Also interviewed was Senior Magistrate Judith Wanjala, who promises to revamp the justice system to ensure quick delivery of judgments.
What is that responsibility you'd like to be assigned with? And how would you see it through the successful implementation, say, over a period of 5 years?
I deal with backlog of cases because backlog of cases causes other issues. For example, they cause perception of maybe corruption, that my case has delayed because there is corruption. So if we are able to address backlog of cases and reduce the backlog, then the judicial officers who are there will be able to deal with cases faster.
Judith Wanjala closes the curtain on the DCJ interviews that have so far seen Lady Justice Pauline Nyamweya, Surinda Kapila and David Maure Wahiga opt out of the race. Dr. Isaac Rutenberg's disqualification brings to 12 the number of candidates interviewed for the position of Deputy Chief Justice, a position which, on the basis of gender and ethnic background, will largely be determined by JSC's decision to nominate David Maraga for the position of Chief Justice. The JSC now has 1 week to sift through notes of the 12 candidates, after which it will forward the name of one candidate to the President, who will then forward it to the National Assembly for vetting. Michelle Ngele, KTN News.
The Big Q, in association with Fidelity Insurance.
Today, one of the stories we are following up for you, riots erupted in Kitili town after police shot and killed 2 women who were hawking goods along the Kitili-Migori Road. That is the basis of our big question discussion tonight here on KTN Prime. We are asking you, is the government doing enough to curb extrajudicial killings? Very quickly to some of your views, Sitati Wasilo says, no, we're only fed with empty rhetoric on these killings. The government should be serious with this issue. Mweni Kamau says, no, the government should take measures on the policemen who killed the innocent. What happened to rubber bullets? You're watching KTN Prime. Thank you for staying with us. We are taking a quick commercial break. Don't go too far. When we return, we'll bring you Spotlights 2017. Stay with us.
The discord in court, coming up on Spotlight 2017.
Welcome back. You're watching KTN Prime. Let's take you to some political news. And the politics of party defections is not new in Kenya. In 1966, the Independence Party KANU faced a headache similar to what the opposition coalition CORD is going through today. After 29 KANU leaders decamped en masse to Jaramogi Oginga Odinga's Kenya People's Union. Tonight on Spotlight 2017, KTN's Chris Tairu revisits the 1966 defections and compares the political dynamics of the time with the present predicament of CORD that recently lost over 30 elected leaders to the newly formed Jubilee Party.
For the past 2 weeks, CORD affiliate parties ODM, Wiper and Ford Kenya appear to have changed strategy. They are now holding separate political rallies to strengthen themselves before agreeing on who will be the presidential flag bearer of the opposition coalition. Those in the race for CORD presidential ticket include Raila Odinga, Kalonzo Musyoka and Moses Wetangula. But the sentiments that were echoed by members of the affiliate parties seem to paint a picture of a disgruntled coalition and widening cracks that might just affect the unity of the coalition.
Kiboko ya Uhuru Kenyatta from next year ni Raila Amolo.
Na hii mambo ya kujipiga kifua ati kusema wao ndio wakubwa zaidi katika East and Central Africa hatutaki kusikia.
However, sentiments made by CORD co-principal Kalonzo Musyoka during a Wiper rally in Mombasa over the weekend seemed to have sent mixed signals regarding his future in the CORD.
Mimi niko tayari kuendelea kushirikiana na yeyote yule ambaye atanihakikishia kwamba mimi Kalonzo sitakuwa mahali nilipo katika opposition. Because I sacrifice all. Munaona ma senator, ma MP, Kalonzo ni nini? Hata si mbunge.
But ODM party leader Raila Odinga downplayed the cracks within the coalition, only terming it as democratic and healthy.
This is a beautiful girl, and everybody is trying to market himself, saying, I'm the best suited for this girl. Okay? The girl will make a decision on her own. So we have no problem. We will cross that bridge when we reach it.
But the question about how and when the coalition will pick its presidential flag bearer seems to be the thorn in the flesh for the affiliate parties, given that they are yet to decide on when to conduct the nominations.
At the moment, we are more concerned with strengthening the parties, because as you know, from our last retreat, we agreed that we are going to go to the next elections as a coalition, not as one united party like the Jubilee.
If ODM goes it alone, I will prepare the political obituary for Raila Odinga. If Wiper goes it alone, I'll prepare the political obituary for Kalonzo Musyoka. If Ford Kenya goes it alone, I will prepare in good time the political obituary of Moses Wetangula. They have no choice. They must be together.
But according to political analyst Professor Herman Manyora, the coalition should decide on the presidential flag bearer early enough to provide for ample time to popularize the candidate.
Now that they have delayed it, delaying it even further will cause them a problem. The sooner they bite the bullet, the better. I believe they should, as soon as possible, make it known so there will be time to heal.
But in the meantime, all the affiliate parties seem to be pulling in different directions.
That Raila has sacrificed for Kenyans a lot throughout his life, and again that we feel he has very solid and firm focus on what he wants to deliver to this country, and therefore we feel that other partners should support him to realize our bigger objective of making Kenya better.
There were people who made unequivocal statements that Raila is the flag bearer of the CORD coalition. What did they expect us to do? To make unequivocal statements that Kalonzo will be what? Or that our party plays for no stakes? I think it is infantile, it is juvenile for anybody to expect that there will not be a robust popularization recruitment drive from Wiper Party.
I would advise CORD to stop all the small wars and go for state power. State power, with state power, there's nothing you can't do. For example, I don't know why they are not seeing this. If they stop the small wars between Wiper, ODM, and this other one, what do you call it, and Ford Kenya, and focus singularly on the president, which is power. Once you have that power, there's nothing you can't do.
What has been more concerning is public utterances that have been left unresponded to, that have been made within the full purview of the entire ODM leadership. So we are saying it's either we are pursuing and making the sacrifices for the coalition, or let us know in good time, at least by the 25th of December, if you guys have actually decided to go it alone.
But is Kalonzo warming up to bolt out of the CORD coalition?
It can't be ruled out because these are people who love power. They love recognition. 5 years, nobody's saluting you. Nobody's opening the door of your car. 5 years, you are doing your own mail. You feel, no, you can't take it more. So they can, you've seen them. You've seen ministers becoming assistant ministers and accepting it.
There is no interest within the Wiper Party of joining the Jubilee coalition. Secondly, Kalonzo has a right to state his maximum claim to the flag bearer position of the CORD coalition.
The latest that the coalition can decide on the presidential flag bearer is March next year. Chris Dairo, KTN News.
It's time for business. I'm Joy Doreen Bira. Tissue and hygiene products manufacturer Chandaria Industries today signed a 5 billion shillings MOU with Tatu City to build a state-of-the-art tissue paper manufacturing facility at the Tatu Industrial Park. According to the manufacturers, the new facility will be built on 29 acres and is expected to be on site in 2 years. The plant will employ an additional 1,000 employees and will double tissue production, which currently stands at 1,200 tons per month. The satellite city, which has been considered a white elephant due to legal issues, is seen to be making a comeback, with Chandaria Industries being the 14th firm to invest in the industrial park. Tatu Industrial Park comprises of 420 acres of serviced land suitable for non-polluting light industrial, assembly and warehouse logistic uses.
This is in terms of the amount and consistency of power, the road quality and network, the amount and quality of water, and effective sewer and drainage systems. And Tatu will provide just this for us.
What you also can't see is all the deals that have been done which will deliver infrastructure, will deliver construction activity next year. 170 residential plots, 260 acres of industrial land sold, and 50 acres under offer.
After heated debate, Everready East Africa Board of Directors has unanimously agreed to sell the 18.5-acre piece of land on which the Nakuru plant sits. The sale will include all equipment and assets at the plant, showing a shift from its core business of battery manufacturing. The former battery giant's properties, when sold, will then wean off the company's current debt. According to Managing Director Jackson Mutua, the land is valued at 1.29 billion shillings. During a Board of Directors meeting held earlier today, it was also agreed that all employees would be paid their full benefits. The company will then relocate its headquarters to a new piece of land to be bought along Mombasa Road between Nairobi and Machakos counties.
If you are sure Everready is performing well, you take a financial institution, you take a loan from the bank so that you retain the property in Nakuru. Because what we are seeing, we want to sell Nakuru land, you pay debt. That will be no more of Everready.
The key initiative that we're going to put in as a board is to try as much as possible to get a buyer who is interested not just in the land, but in the land and the buildings.
The United Kingdom says it is committed to supporting renewable clean energy in Kenya through investor funding and training. Speaking at the Renewable Energy Conference organized by the British High Commission and Barclays Bank of Kenya, UK Prime Minister envoy to Kenya and Tanzania said £300 million, or about 70.5 billion shillings, was through an MOU with the government of Kenya committed to support the development of strategic renewable energy projects in the country. Kenya has one of the most active renewable energy sectors in Africa.
We built 210.
Of mountains, we've got Mount Kenya, the hospitality of our people in this country, and that for... Sit down.
Do we have any questions? Export Finance has contributed a baseline number of around £250 million, but that's a number that, subject to the projects being acceptable under the MOU, subject to them being viable, can be increased and possibly doubled.
The development of the laboratory there so that they can expand that research and look at expanding the plant. So this is taking agricultural waste from the flower farms and the vegetable farms around Lake Naivasha, turning it into power, and then using the waste heat to heat the greenhouses back on the flower farm. So it's 100% efficient, if you like. And
we compare, for example, with the thermal or fossil fueled plants. The fuel itself, we have got HFO plants, several of them. And the fuel alone is about 14 US cents per kilowatt hour. To generate 1 kilowatt hour, you require about 14 US cents. So when you go for renewables, it means you will not need to utilize 14 US cents to create 1 kilowatt hour.
What we're excited about here is the fact that we're talking about unlocking renewable energy. As the PS has indicated, that is better for the country in the long run. It is clean energy, it is more efficient, and I think we're blessed with the resources that we have within this country, so it makes more sense for us to be really backing that up. We're looking at all aspects from generation to transmission. You heard the PS talking about new models that are coming in, legislation that is coming in. We're also working with the government to really make sure, the government and the UK government as well, to really make sure that investors have a level of comfort.
The European Union, through the European Investment Bank, has committed 123 million euros, or about 13.8 billion shillings grant for the extension of Olkaria 6 in Naivasha. The move is a big boost to geothermal exploration, with the project expected to generate an extra 70 megawatts to the national grid. A delegation from several EU countries visited the geothermal-rich area of Olkaria in Naivasha, with the members praising the country for its commitment in increasing exploration of renewable energy and promised more support.
More than 500 million US dollars. The 120 is coming in for Olkaria 1, Unit 6. That project is currently on tender and will be starting the construction in January coming year.
We have supported Olkaria 1 and 4, which was the largest power plant that was opened here in the area. At the moment, we are looking at also supporting KenGen for the extension of Olkaria 1 power plant, also through a loan with a grant element that would also support KenGen's drilling exercise. Total financing will be 123 million euro. Which is going to be in part a new loan, and in part we are actually going to use savings that we did on the previous loan, because the cost came out lower than anticipated, thanks to a good procurement actually.
And well, that's it for KTN Business. You can log on to our website, ktnnews.com, for more business updates. My name is Joy Doreen Bira. Up next, KTN Sports.
So today, Kisii Town was a no-go zone following riots after police shot and killed 2 women at the Darajambili area as they were trying to allegedly disperse a crowd. The 2 women are said to have been hawking goods along the Migori-Kisii Road. One of them died on the spot. On our big question discussion tonight, we did seek to engage you on that. We asked you, is the government doing enough to curb extrajudicial killings? And there are too many no's according to your tweets and texts. Let's sample a few of them. And one here from Bunditoni says, no, if it was doing enough to curb the vice, we wouldn't have such occurrences as today. Francis J. Merito tweets and says there's nothing being done. That's why the police have got a lot of courage to continue. Ken Stormy also tweets, we've heard or even witnessed similar cases, but the term justice for the deceased falls on deaf ears. James Wanzala says, no, in fact, it's the same government killing Kenyans. Getting justice has become a mirage to many victims. Solomon Mbuku tweets and posts a very graphic image there saying, no, police is at variance with IPOA and in permanent denial. Mohammed Harred says extrajudicial killings is manifesting day by day. And Mweni says on Twitter, the killers should be taken to court. Those grieving should get justice. And finally, one here from Onyango Wino says, the same question has been asked every time, but we still continue losing lives. It's high time we reframe the question. Many thanks for your tweets and texts. And that's all we have time for here on the broadcast. Many thanks for watching KTN Prime this Thursday night. I'm Ben Kitili. Good night from Nairobi. Jeff Kwanange Live begins shortly.